com. Mike Barnicle is with us from MSNBC's Morning Joe. Hi, Mike.
Mitch, how are you?
I'm fine. We've been talking about what's happened down in Orlando from a lot of different angles. We talked about it from the gun angle. We talked about it from the Islamic community angle with a member of our community here. From the media's perspective here, you've always got a pretty good eye on how this is being handled. It happened on Saturday night. We're now into the second day of it. What are your thoughts as to how the media has or hasn't handled it well, overdone, underdone, what?
You know, I think the media as a whole has done a pretty good job at this. They haven't really, gone overboard. They've covered it fairly straight. It's a convergence of a bunch of issues, as everyone knows. You've got, the aspect of terrorism. You've got the LGBT community. You've got, the presidential campaign going on. I mean, it would be easy to really go overboard at one aspect of another. I haven't watched Fox, so I have to tell you I don't know what they're doing, but CNN and MSNBC and the networks themselves, I think they've done a pretty good job.
Well, let me tell you what Fox is Obama's fault. Okay, now you saw it.
Yeah.
I understand that. I mean, actually, Kenny, what Donald Trump said, I read what he said on Fox this morning. That, to me, is disqualifying in terms of anyone who wants to lead this country to be president of the United States.
Are you talking about what he said when he was misreading his prompter and basically said this?
We have an incompetent administration, and if I'm elected president, that will not change.
Because he went on and said that about 3 different times. I don't know if that's what you're referring to, or the thing about banning Muslims and all the rest.
No, when he was talking about the president doesn't get it, and that there's something going on there. The implication being that the president of the United States is a secret sympathizer with the Muslim terrorists abroad,
right?
And Muslim terrorists here in this country.
He sent this guy his gun, I imagine. Yeah, it arrived from the government. Yeah.
I mean, that's as outrageous. Look at. We all have our disagreements with the Obama administration. If you're a normal human being, you're going to have a disagreement, whether you're a Democrat or Republican or whatever. He is, though, the President of the United States.
Well, that doesn't ever stop Donald Trump on this, but, I'm sure this is going to end up becoming a political football back and
Absolutely.
Forth. But does Trump run any risks here trying to because obviously the ground that Hillary Clinton will stand on is pretty clear and pretty transparent. She's going to, tighter gun control laws, and don't blame this on the Islamic community and all the rest of it. And in what position is there for Trump to take on this that is actually semi-logical, or is that an oxymoron with him?
I'd go for the latter, Mitch. I think it's kind of an oxymoron. But, I mean, what he did today up at St. Anselm's in Manchester, New Hampshire, was he basically doubled down on his proposal to ban all Muslims, immigrants. He's now going to he wants to ban, as President of the United States, anyone attempting to enter the country from any country abroad where there has been any threat of terrorism made to the United States or to citizens of the United States. So he's got a bunch of countries now where you won't be able to immigrate into the United States. But whether it helps him or hurts him, I can't read that. Can you read that? I don't know which way.
I don't know. I think there are, as soon as this guy pledged allegiance to ISIS, even though, for all we know, he may have had no contact with anybody there whatsoever.
And that was in a 911 call.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he had been over.
Yeah. He may have seen him on a website.
I was talking to someone today, who's fairly high up in the national security apparatus, and he was telling me that, he makes the 911 call and says, I'm an ISIS guy. I'm on ISIS's team. But he also says, he's with Hamas and he's with the al-Nusra Front.
Yeah.
Well, they're killing each other.
Yeah.
I mean, al-Nusra he didn't know what he was talking about, clearly, in retrospect.
No.
ISIS and al-Nusra, they're enemies.
And I think what that did, and bear with us for a second, we need to take a quick break and come back and finish up. But I think what that did was take a focus off of the killing of many LGBT community members, and all of a sudden this is just about ISIS and terror, because that's our fallback, that's our default position. But this was about a hatred for homosexuality, and that shouldn't be buried in this story. We'll come back with this right after this brief.